Hey, welcome to Amber in the Kitchen. Sorry about the weird angle. Okay, we are going to make cinnamon rolls. I'm so excited. I love cinnamon rolls. So I'm in my pajamas because you make cinnamon rolls at night before you go to bed, and then you bake them in the morning. I am making gluten-free cinnamon rolls. Okay, and most people look at me like I'm crazy when I say that. But they're so good, you guys. They are gluten-free Cinnabon copycats. Okay, and I got this recipe from recreatinghappiness.com. And the ingredient list is a little long, okay? So don't get scared by that, though, because I have everything right here. Boom, done. It's not so scary. But in here, in our large bowl, I have the potato starch, which I actually don't have any potato starch, so I substituted tapioca starch. I hope it turns out okay. I've never done that before, but I can't find any potato starch in my store, so thank you, COVID-19. But normally you would have potato starch, brown rice flour, almond flour, tapioca starch in here, and then I've got my sugar and yeast, my milk and my butter warmed up in here because you would usually proof your yeast together. And then in here I've got baking soda, xanthan gum, baking powder, and salt. And then we've got our egg, our olive oil, and our vanilla. So those are our ingredients for the dough. And then over here you can see I've got some butter and brown sugar cinnamon waiting. That's our filling. And we'll talk about the topping tomorrow morning after we take them out of the oven. Okay, so because I have instant yeast, I don't have to proof my yeast, but I'm going to go through the steps of that anyway. Grab a spatula real quick and get all this goodness out of here. Okay. Let me give you guys a better angle on the mixer. Okay, so we've got our milk and our butter, our sugar and our yeast. Put that in the sink. Okay, so if you have active dry yeast, you need to let this sit for about 5 minutes. And so that yeast can proof, or I think you can call it blooming too. It's been a while since I've looked up my vocabulary for baking with yeast, but there you go. I have instant, so I'm not going to wait the 5 minutes. And I'm just going to go ahead and dump in my other ingredients. So we're supposed to combine all of these flours together with these little leavening agents as well. That tapioca starch, guys, it's crazy messy. It goes everywhere, so be careful with the tapioca starch. I got my tapioca starch at the Asian grocery store, 99 Ranch, or Ranch 99 Market. I think it's 99 Ranch. Okay, so those are mixed nicely. And then we are going to add in our other liquid ingredients. Our egg. With, I need my liquid measuring cup. That's why I didn't pre-measure, because I only have one cup liquid measuring cup. Need a 1/4 cup of oil, vegetable oil. Okay, and we need a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. I usually double my vanilla. Chef's secret right there. It's so good. Okay. There, all of our liquid ingredients are now in. We'll go ahead and break that egg up a little bit. Okay. Mr. Egg, you are not breaking. We're gonna just go like that. Okay. Ta-da! Liquid ingredients. And now we are going to put in our dry ingredients. So the cool thing about cinnamon rolls is you can make them in advance. So your morning can just go really rather smooth. All right, we're gonna be careful not to over mix this. Oh, and something to note about the non-wheat flours is they can be kind of like, they call it being thirsty. They really absorb a lot of liquids. So when you make this, at first it's gonna look really loose and you're gonna feel like you didn't add enough flour. But in reality, you did fine. Don't worry. It's gonna be okay. Because the more the two meet, the more stiff they become. Okay. Let's just clean that off. Scrape our bowl a little bit. Okay. Here we go. See, look at that. It's already getting so much thicker. Okay, that's it for the stirring. Get these bowls out of the way. I'm going to bring over my Silpat. Well, actually, these aren't technically Silpat, I don't think. They are just silicone. We're going to roll out this dough. Get everything out of the way a little bit more here. Let's see, how you guys doing? So we use the Silpat or the rubber mats, silicone mats to help, because this is very loose dough and it will stick like crazy. So the secret to that is using the rubber mats and more of the tapioca starch. So here's the tapioca starch. I'm going to just do like this. Get these ingredients out of the way. Okay. And get this dough right over here. Now, if you don't have the silicone mats, never fear, all is not lost. Use saran wrap, plastic wrap. Just like that. And kind of spread it out with your spatula. Get it off your spatula. And then we're gonna sprinkle some more tapioca on top. When in doubt, more tapioca. Okay. And then we're gonna put this one on top. So if you don't have the mats, just put 2 things of plastic wrap. And then we're going to roll it with our rolling pin. Oops, see this right here could be a hazard. Make sure you don't get it on the floor. So if this happens, just coat your hands in the tapioca and push it back. Done. It never happened. Okay. I'm gonna kind of push it over more. And you wanna try to get it somewhat even. This is a little bit difficult in this section of my kitchen because I have all my baked canisters and all those things. But, whoopsie, we splooshed a little bit outside there. That's okay. We have tapioca. We'll just push, push, push. Push, push, push. A little bit more. And push it kind of over where we want it. All right, I'm going to peel this off and take a look. Super sticky. That's the bummer with this rubber mat. So you can't really see through it very well. The clear wrap, plastic wrap, you can see it just fine. Okay, so that's going to be good enough for government work right there. Okay, all right. There we go. Okay, now we've got butter, which is softened, and this is my homemade brown sugar. Check out that recipe video if you like, with 2 tablespoons of cinnamon in here. So we're just gonna hand mix our cinnamon with our brown sugar real quick. Easy peasy. And our butter is going to have to get spread over this dough real quick. So I'm going to use my little mini offset spatula. If you get into cake decorating at all, these are a lifesaver. Okay, so I'm going to kind of plop dabs of butter over this dough. There's a couple different ways you could do this. You can actually mix them all. The recipe, I believe, asks you to spread your butter and then you sprinkle the cinnamon over. But you really could just mix it all up and it would be just fine. Okay. Cinnamon rolls. I'm so excited for breakfast tomorrow, you guys. I really like cinnamon roll. Okay, so you got to be really gentle with this dough in particular. So I'm just gonna kind of pinch this butter out more. I'm not gonna worry so much about getting it so evenly because this is the filling layer and it's all gonna kind of melt and be delicious anyway. And this dough is very tender. Gentle hands required. Okay. If you don't want to get your fingers messy, I recommend like almost melting the butter a little bit so it's really, really soft. Okay, I'm going to say that's good enough, and then I'm going to start spreading this deliciousness. As you can tell, it's not a very precision thing. You just kind of do it. Okay. Get this out of the way. Kind of spread that by hand a little bit more. Get it a little bit more even. I think the last time I made these, I did mix them all together. So I had like a cinnamon butter and then I just like spread it that way. And it was a little softer, easier to handle. Okay, so you want to get it pretty close to the edges if you can. Okay, and then what we're going to actually end up doing is rolling this because we're making cinnamon rolls. I'm going to rinse my fingers real quick. And then we're going to cut it and stick it in a pan. So you can do a 13 by 9, I think, with this recipe. But I'm going to put it into 2 pie dishes. That's how I'm gonna do it. If you don't have pie dishes, a cake pan will do fine. Okay, so we just got to get this to start coming off. Okay, so we're gonna get some more tapioca here, kind of rub it on the side. And then you want to try to get this to roll evenly and tightly. Good luck. Okay. But if you're using plastic wrap, you do this the same way. And you just pull up on the plastic wrap. And hopefully it comes off easily for you. I'm going to go ahead and kind of dip my little offset here in some tapioca starch. Tapioca starch to the rescue. Anytime you got stickiness, you do the tapioca starch. Okay. I'm gonna pull. And at this point, I'm just going to see if I can do it like that. Okay. Try to get it tight. Because this is going to be... Alright, I'm going to cut this and throw it over here. Because we got a hole. We got a hole, people. And that will be just fine. Okay. So there is our cinnamon roll. Now we're going to cut it. I'm going to move my pan really close. Because this is loose. Okay. More tapioca starch. I'm going to just kind of go like that. Alright, now I'm going to kind of half it, eyeball it a little bit, and then I think I'm going to just fit this all into one pan. Normally I do two, I think, but it's been such a long time. I think I want really tall cinnamon rolls though. So I'm going to go ahead and just go like that. Okay, so I'm going to stick this end piece facing down. Now, when you stick it in your pie tin or your cake pan, or your 13 by 9, whatever you have decided to use, it's not going to be pretty. With this recipe, it's just not going to be pretty. I have made it several times now, and it's just not pretty. But don't fear, it will be delicious. And it will look pretty when it's baked in the morning. Just this part of the process is sticky and messy. Okay. I'm going to get a little bit more tapioca over here. My hand is getting very sticky. Cut. Throw it up over here. Hold still, little man. Little cinnamon roll. Okay. Stick that guy right in there. I'm going to stick this guy right over here. It's kind of falling apart. That's all right. This adds to the gooey deliciousness. All right. I must also note it is really humid here today. It was not so humid yesterday. Today it is humid. We've got that Hurricane Laura coming through. It's supposed to hit land, I think, tonight around midnight. And it is humid. We got a rainstorm here earlier. It was really weird. The rainstorm just hit like out of nowhere. It was sunny and hot, and then all of a sudden it just started raining, and it was a hard rain for a few minutes, and then it was kind of over. I don't know. Weird stuff, guys. 2020 is the year of weird. Okay, So as you can tell, this is pretty well cleaned up. This is a hot mess looking thing over here. But that's all right, you guys. It's gonna be delicious. And this is that gluten-free recipe. I know we'll do another one that's regular, not gluten-free, but I wanted you guys to see this recipe too. And I'm going to take these to a friend who is gluten-free tomorrow. So why not do both types of recipes, right? All right, so here is step one. I am going to put these in the refrigerator overnight, and I will get them out and let them warm up for about an hour on the counter before I heat them or bake them. Okay, so don't forget to check below for the link to the recipe, and I'll see if I can link some of the ingredients too, like the potato starch. You should be able to get that online, I would think, if you can't find it in your home. But here you go, ta-da! Yummy gluten-free recipe for cinnamon rolls, and they are so good, you guys, so good.